Hey guys, it's Nathan. I wanted to, well, this is like something that I've been working on recently, which is just essentially it's just sort of planning out everything, all of the different sort of growth avenues that I have myself at Notifier. But also I think it explains sort of a lot better what sort of growth hacking actually is. Because I speak to so many sort of growth hackers who really just sort of don't know what they're doing, to be quite honest. So this is particularly for SaaS, but it will also apply to sort of e-commerce and almost sort of any business really that sort of functions online. So hopefully you can get like a few sort of takeaways from this. But for example, here you'll see like these are all the different strategies that I sort of mainly focus on to acquire traffic. So I guess we'll start going from left to right. So obviously warm content or content marketing. So obviously YouTube. I specifically sort of make content that is related to the audience of Notifier, which is sort of entrepreneurs and marketers. Now, number one, like, I actually enjoy talking about this in real life. I'm sort of very quiet and don't really like talking much, but in terms of sort of marketing and growth hacking, it's something I'm quite passionate about, so it's very easy for me to make videos on marketing and sort of sharing the type of things that I'm doing. So this is like a really easy sort of marketing channel for me. And not only is it very good for sort of building awareness, it also turns you into, like, you can become more of an authority within your niche, within the specific area that you're sort of working in. So by me sort of publishing things on growth hacking and guides, and sort of I've also been recently trying to make videos on how to use individual tools and widgets that we have to help our customers be successful, but obviously that does raise awareness as well. So in my opinion, YouTube is a very underutilized marketing channel. Like I'm not even a big YouTuber, in fact I'm tiny, but I rank in like position number 1 for like growth hacking automation, for exit intent surveys, for exit intent tools. I think I'm in position number 5. And for me to do this on Google, for example, with using search engine optimization, you know, we're talking a minimum of two, probably even 3 months as a minimum, but realistically probably more like 6, for me to get into position number 1 for some of these keywords that are sort of really related to what we're doing, and have relatively high competition, because everyone else is also in marketing, which means you're competing against other marketers. So in my opinion, YouTube is a massively underutilized platform for marketing. So I want to continue sort of making videos and sort of guides on things that I'm doing. Like I said, one, because I enjoy doing it, and also I get a lot of positive feedback, which is always very nice. But 2, because obviously it does sort of raise awareness for Notifier and it helps it build my profile, so it's a win-win for everyone. Of course I do publish on like a blog as well, and I put sort of articles up there, but I've sort of moved away from that recently. But of course any sort of newsletter subscribers that I get, I drive over to Notifier and enroll in sort of automation sequences. So other acquisition channels are of course social ads, and really I just do sort of YouTube. I don't do any retargeting yet, but it is something that I plan on releasing in future. Of course I could also do Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit and Quora, but currently I'm trying to build this out as a sort of very lean strategy, and later on we sort of scale out into other areas. Like I'm the sole the sole marketer at Notifier, so it's me who covers like every single area and every single different sort of channel here. So yeah, I don't want to add in sort of too many things, but I'll definitely play around and test them in future. LinkedIn as well, but just LinkedIn for pay-per-click is very expensive, especially at the price point of Notifier. So it's probably something I'll never explore on Notifier. And of course, like our current audience, so anyone who's in our sort of database and has previously subscribed, signed up. Like we send out email marketing in terms of promotions, newsletter updates, new features. Promotions we could also send over LinkedIn and email. So I haven't built this out yet, but this is my sort of latest idea. Will be to build out an automation sequence in Integromat, and whenever a new feature is released, I will send this to Integromat via a webhook, and Integromat will receive this data and it will automatically go through and send out a newsletter. It will add it into our change log, which is like whenever we release a new update, we release that on our blog. It will automatically be published there. It will automatically be shared in 13 different subreddits, and it will go out as a LinkedIn post, but also it will send out a LinkedIn message sequence to all of my connections, and particularly connections who are in our current audience, so I can enrich all of the notifier database and get all the LinkedIn profiles and go and send messages to them, asking if they'd be interested to try out this new feature. So this isn't something that I've built out yet, which is why there's no more information here, but this is something that I'm sort of planning on. This is going to be my next project in terms of what I'll be building for automation. Outbound is what I've focused on most, and it works very well for us. I've got everything pretty much ironed out, and we're running a number of LinkedIn accounts currently. So initially we send a personalized connection request, and of course if it's not accepted, there's not much we can do, but that's why it's so important to make it personalized. So we're reaching out to competitors' customers, and what I've done is we automatically add in the in my signature, we put in notify.io / whatever technologies they're using on their website, so maybe WordPress. And this gets really good sort of click-through rates, as immediately it's sort of relevant to them. You know, they're using WordPress, they know they're using WordPress, or at least hopefully they do, and they're much more likely to click on it. So I get like 50% acceptance rates on average, which is pretty good. And yeah, from here essentially we go into, when they accept, we enroll into the sequence. Now another little marketing tactic that I've been doing recently is we purposefully put a spelling mistake in the first message, and then when we follow up, so we purposely put a spelling mistake in the first message, and once that message has been sent, I then send another message like 2 seconds after, correcting the spelling mistake. Now obviously we've done this on purpose, but it makes it look like it was a human error. So obviously people aren't going to be thinking that there's like automation. No one's going to assume that we've purposefully put a spelling mistake in there just to follow up, to make it look like it's not being completed by automation. So that's a little tactic that I've been doing recently. It's very hard to track response rates in LinkedIn, because I'm sort of building this all out myself, but I just from looking and going through the accounts, I can see that it definitely has had an increase in responses. So there's a little hack for you. You can purposefully, I know this is used quite commonly used to be anyway, in like email marketing and things like that, but in LinkedIn it's not done at all. I've never seen anyone doing this. So yeah, that's something worth testing. This is like applies globally, so this is our sequence. If there's no response, we send follow-up. If no response, send follow-up with benefits, send a reminder, invite them for a call. There's a little email template that I use, which is options 1, 2 and 3. So option 1 is we're just asking them to reply back with either 1, 2 or 3, so it takes away the friction from writing out a response. Option 1 is this slipped through my inbox, let's schedule a call this week. Option 2 is this isn't on the cards right now, but let's explore next quarter. And option 3 would be I'm not interested, please stop contacting me. And we can then take the responses that we receive from here automatically, and add into like whatever automation you wanted. You know, we could even build a database to automatically follow up with the people who said follow up with me in 2 months, which isn't a bad idea at all, but it's not something I've done yet. But we can pass these responses through into our database, and we know when to reach back out to them. And finally, we just do goodbye, like thanks for your time and your space in your LinkedIn inbox, just so you know the door's always welcome, door's always open if you do want to join us. And then also, like I said over here, for any new feature announcements, we'll still continue sending them out to the prospect, maybe once every 1 or 2 months, which is the beauty of LinkedIn, is that it's GDPR compliant. Obviously, if someone doesn't want to receive messages from us, they can always delete us as a contact. And this is like the global, this applies globally to all these messages. So obviously if someone responds negatively, get rid of them, remove them from the campaign. There's no point wasting their time or our time, even if it is being automated. Just get them out of the sequence. And positive response, of course, we just send, push them across to our top of the funnel, which in our case is the Notify homepage, and get them to sign up. Email, we add them over to our email automation tool. We send introduction, we send follow-up, 1, 2 and 3, door is always open, and then we send new feature announcements as long as the prospect doesn't unsubscribe. If the prospect replies on LinkedIn, we automatically sync that over into the database, which would be automatically then sending that over into our email automation tool as well. So if a prospect replies on LinkedIn, then we'll stop all follow-ups on email as well, and vice versa. If they unsubscribe or reply in email, we stop all follow-ups in LinkedIn. Okay, and next up, another acquisition channel that we use obviously is just organic search. So these are like 3 different things that I need to set up. I've come up with a nice little way for us to build mass pages of competitors and do comparisons using enrichment. I won't get into that now, but I'll put that out in another video. But essentially we could build like, I mean, Notify has like 500 competitors, and we can build 500 pages, all with unique content, and all of them will be personalized, and deploy them, and yeah, try and get them to rank on competitors' names, on competitor search terms, sorry. So that is something, this is an idea that I've sort of come up with, and I'm working with our developers to implement that, but it's not been integrated yet. Integrations, this would also apply using the same methodology for the competitors. So all of the integrations that we have, we would enrich the integrations and add like personalization to it automatically, and then we can deploy like 100 pages, or depending how many integrations we have, of course. And this is like the same marketing strategy that Zapier or Zapier used, however you pronounce it, however you prefer to pronounce it, where every time they had a new integration, they would just deploy a new page. So they just had a fantastic SEO strategy. And then of course feature pages, I've come up with a way to build this dynamically. Whenever a new feature is released in Notify, we're automatically going to generate a new page. And then we can also, whenever a new page is generated, we could do like an RSS post, and then pull in from RSS into via Integromat. Whenever a new post is added in RSS, we could send a webhook and add an email announcement, and also do a LinkedIn announcement. So that's the way that we could actually automate. This applies for Notify, but I'm sure you can build something similar in your SaaS or in your e-commerce. Whenever you release a new product, add this into RSS and have Integromat listen and send over a webhook, and then you could build out a sequence both on email and LinkedIn. And of course you could also just do social sharing as well. You could build that out in Integromat as well. So then this is what, for me, what growth hacking is all about, is just thinking of ways to just to simplify and just sort of automate as many things as possible, but doing it in a very like smart way. You know, we're not trying to like spam things, we're trying to make it sort of very personalized. You know, for example, I'm doing about 10 different, well, maybe not 10, but maybe 5 different people's jobs, and we haven't even got down to the bottom section of other tasks that I complete. And the only way I'm able to do all of this stuff is through automation. So that's just another little idea that I've come up with. So this is my notes, and I'm just adding things to it as we go through it as well. Community, there's just a really good way to sort of grow at the moment is also through doing communities, so building forums, even just providing support for your forums. For example, Airtable, a tool that I really like, they have a very active community, and they rank very well on so many different search terms just because of their forums and support groups that they have. It's not even, they have very few of their actual team members actively participating in it. It's all just community driven, and they rank really well for SEO, so that's something that I'm sort of looking to get into and explore more. Of course, the other acquisition channel we have is referrals. So these can come through either affiliates, blogs, for example, if we're being shouted out on someone's blog post, platforms, Product Hunt, WordPress, Cloudflare, Shopify, software as a service, comparison sites, I guess we could call it. I have a list of about 450 others as well, but I just didn't want to clog up the whole thing. And of course, in Notify we have optional branding that a user can leave on, so we also get a lot of traffic through there. And then search ads, competitor keywords, solution based, so for example, how to increase website conversions, we could bid on something like that. Or specific features, if someone's searching specifically for email collection software or social proof software, and we'll bid on those. So I just tend to split things up into these, in terms of pay-per-click, into these 3 different categories, because you have to write very different ad sets for them. And also solution based tends to have a lot longer life. It takes a lot longer to convert people, so we have to build out different sequences for them. But yeah, they're the main channels that we use for in terms of traffic acquisition. So that is only the acquisition stage of the funnel. And again, as I was saying earlier, this is what actually separates out a growth hacker from a marketer. I'm a member in loads of different Slack channels, marketing focused Slack channels, and people will say I hate the term growth hacker. The only people just don't understand what it is. So many people are saying I'm a pay-per-click marketing. I'm a growth hacker, but all they're doing is Facebook ads or Google ads. That's not what growth hacking is at all. Growth hacking is someone who understands the entire marketing funnel and understands every single opportunity within the customer lifecycle. It's this is just acquisition, and most people who are calling themselves growth hackers just focus on one stage, cold email marketing or something, or just LinkedIn outreach. And that's not what growth hacking is at all. You're just doing marketing and specialising in one area, which obviously is fine, and it's a very good skill set to have as well. But a actual growth hacker is covering, this is why they call it a T-shaped marketer, because it ends up looking like this. You're covering so many different areas. Anyway, so from the acquisition stage, all those points I just went through now, all the different channels that we're acquiring traffic from, it's then pushed into top of funnel, which in this case is our landing page, Notify landing page. And either one of 2 things are going to happen here. Number 1, they're going to subscribe and take out a subscription, or number 2, they're not going to subscribe. So we'll start off with not converted, because 95% of people aren't going to convert. If you have a 5% conversion rate, you're doing very well. So if you're putting in all that effort up here in terms of getting traffic onto your website and only 5% of people are converting, obviously you need to make sure that you're actually putting maybe just as much effort, if not more, into converting people who have visited but haven't taken out a subscription. Okay, so we're going to automatically add them into Google remarketing campaign and Facebook remarketing. Of course, if a prospect responds, if a prospect signs up, that's what the green light is, the green line, sorry. we automatically remove them from the campaign. Sorry for I'm getting tired. It's 2:30 in the morning. Also, if they haven't converted, we want to get feedback, so we're going to use things like exit intent surveys, and also employ like conversion rate optimization strategies to make sure that we're maximising the number of people we convert. And from here, once they're added into these two Google and Facebook, we'll send like a discount email, and we'll enroll into an email sequence here. Obviously, if they respond, we remove them. Then we can also just enrich the website, follow them on Twitter, send out a LinkedIn connection request, and enroll it into a LinkedIn outreach sequence. So we can do that for every single user who signs up but doesn't convert. A very good tool for doing this, actually, for anyone who is interested, would be Autopilot HQ, because they have built-in email automation. They also have built-in Google remarketing, Facebook remarketing, and you would have to enrich the websites using another tool and build out this part of the funnel in Integromat. But Autopilot HQ also have webhooks, so we could just send over webhooks to Integromat to handle this side of everything. And when a user converts, because Autopilot will track this, they'll automatically remove from Facebook remarketing, Google remarketing. They'll stop sending emails, and we can also send over a webhook to let Integromat know that the user has converted and stop this flow. So that would be my tool of choice for executing this part of the funnel. And now we move on to subscribed. So this is for active paying customers, and like arguably the biggest growth opportunity is actually with your active customers. And like so many SaaS, like software as a service in particular, just really don't realise this. So of course the most obvious thing to do is upsell products. Yeah, definitely it's something that you should be doing. You should do in-app promotions whenever you have a new feature, a new product being released. Definitely promote it within your app. You can use Notify for doing that, or you can use email marketing. Sorry for the plug there, but it would be a good tool of choice. Yeah, or of course you can send out emails to all your customers, your existing customers, letting people know about new features, new products, and ways that you can upsell them. Next, customer success, I think, for SaaS anyway, is probably one of the most important areas of marketing. And it's not customer support. It is a mixture of customer support but also marketing. So yeah, don't be confused by that. So for customer success, like in Notifier, I want to make videos on how to make our users successful with all of our different tools. I also mentioned that under acquisition. The thing that's really good about that is they'll also rank on YouTube, so it's a way both for us to support existing customers and also acquire new ones. Obviously emails, you want to build email sequences, giving like recommendations and optimizations on what people can do to get the most out of your application. So this comes under the activation part of the funnel. LinkedIn, this is just a little automation I thought of just for anyone who takes out a subscription with Notifier. Enrich, send them a connection request on LinkedIn and just say, hi, I wanted to connect with you on LinkedIn and let you know if you ever need a hand with your campaigns, just ping me a message and I'll be happy to help. Onboarding, obviously I haven't added anything here, but we can go on for ages in terms of in-app messages, triggered videos and things like that. So this is also something that I'm going to be actively working on over the next few weeks. Customer support, like obviously having very good customer support is really important, for just obvious reasons. There's no point even going into it, but yeah, customer support, aim for 5-minute response time. And when you get a positive response, when someone says, wow, like your customer support is amazing, ask them for a review. If it was a negative response, ask them how we can improve to make sure that it's better next time. Like feedback is just so important. Next up, we can also leverage a growth opportunity in referrals by getting users to promote us, so asking for shares, getting them to invite friends, and using our branding on our widgets. Our branding has like our affiliate code automatically tracked, so we offer 50% commission whenever a user leaves that on. So that's just a little incentive that we have in order to incentivize our users to promote us, and they'll also earn money out of doing it as well. Next up is retention. So eventually, if you're working in subscriptions, eventually, it's the sad, harsh reality, but eventually all of your users are going to cancel. It's just a matter of time, whether it's 5 years down the line, 5 days down the line, 5 months down the line, even 20 years down the line, depending how good your product is and how long they need it for. So retention, one thing that we can do is promote yearly billing. So incentivize them to get a discount. If you're charging monthly, if you're charging your users monthly, this is going to significantly increase your lifetime value. So definitely promote yearly billing for anyone on monthly plans. And of course, when a user does go to cancel their subscription, we want to try and stop them from cancelling. So we're actually building a tool for this within Notifier that will save users as they go to cancel their account. It's going to make targeted offers, and we're in the final stages of releasing this. If they do save, we will. If they do decide to keep their subscription, we're going to get a support agent to reach out to them and make sure that all issues are resolved and everyone's happy. If they do decide to go ahead with the cancellation, get feedback on why it is they cancelled, build out a resurrection flow, which means, ideally, based on the feedback that you have here on why it is that they actually cancelled, we want to add this segment based on this, perhaps lack of features, if they thought it was too expensive, whatever the reason may be, perhaps lack of technical support. And then you could build out different segments for the resurrection flow. For example, it's too expensive, not enough features, and for example, if we know that the reason they cancelled is because there's not enough features, then you definitely want to be sending out emails whenever you release a new feature. Let the person who cancelled know, because you can definitely bring them back as a customer. Most people who run SaaS just sort of let their cancelled users go into like a cancelled user graveyard, but you can definitely sort of pull them back in and bring back cancellations. Or also just any major updates. You should always sort of send out any sort of major selling points. If they wanted a specific feature built, obviously if you do end up building it, definitely let them know. It's a very easy way for you to retain customers. Or if they say it's too expensive, whenever you have a new promotion going on, make sure that that segment is enrolled in the sequence. We could also do like a LinkedIn connection, assuming we're connected with them already, which we should be, given the previous stages of the flow. Send LinkedIn message, and sometimes that looks a lot more personal, and we can try and retain them through there. So this is what I'm sort of always talking about. So I'm just a massive believer in the Pirate Metrics framework. Okay, so to really explain this is all acquisition. We're acquiring traffic to our landing page. Now activation is coming under customer success and onboarding. Revenue is coming under upselling products. Retention obviously is over here, and referrals. So that is a real acquisition, activation, revenue, retention, referrals framework, which is, in my opinion, just the is what growth hacking is literally built on. Understanding all of the different areas for growth, rather than just what most companies are doing these days. Some companies are becoming a bit more savvy to this now, but most companies are just focusing on up here. Let's just fire as much traffic as we can at the landing page and just hope it converts. But I mean, like, we haven't even talked about like CRO and all these other different areas, but now you actually see how many different stages there are in the customer lifecycle that we can optimize for, and we can find this new little areas to like squeeze growth out of every opportunity that presents itself. And I mean, a lot of these were even just sort of making up. I've put this together in maybe like 20 minutes, half an hour. Obviously I've been doing this for a while now, and I've done this in a lot of different SaaS companies, so this is just like a basic framework that I would implement across a SaaS company, but I would constantly be sort of adding to this. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this one quite simple and lean, because on one of my previous companies, my mind map just went on forever, and it was just sort of lost. I was just sort of lost in information and ideas and stuff. So don't like overflow yourself. I think this is a really good sort of starting point. And even if you just taught yourself how to do all of these sort of different skill sets, because really you're doing probably 6 or 7 different jobs in one. If you understand how to do all of these different skills, and setting up like a funnel like this for a SaaS company, they're going to see like tremendous growth, even like 200% increase in overall revenue, because as soon as we start playing around with saving on retention, that is when you really start to like skyrocket a SaaS company. Again, it's not pushing more traffic to your website, it's focusing on these ones down here, the ones that everyone forgets about, which really lead to growth in SaaS. So yeah, I just thought like I'd just share this. Just I get so many like emails and things now from people watching my YouTube videos, and like I said before, I'm just like a really small YouTuber, but it's very interesting like how engaged sort of people are in the sort of content and stuff that I'm putting out there. So yeah, I hope that maybe this has given like some inspiration and ideas on some things that you can do. Again, like this entire flow, I mean, that's the other thing maybe people might not have understood. This entire flow, everything from acquiring the customers at the acquisition stage down to here, down to all of this, I'm going to completely automate this. So again, I'll be completely hands off. This is all a funnel that will be automated, covering the entire life cycle of a customer. No matter what stage of the flow they're at, we can enroll them into some sort of automation to increase sales and growth. The only stage that isn't automated is customer support, because I'm very bad with customer support. I understand how to do it from a marketing perspective and how to make sure that we're getting the feedback that we need and collecting reviews from positive customers. But in terms of going back and forth with customers all day, is really not my skill set. So I have like support agents who will take care of that. So from my point of view, from a marketing perspective, it's all automated. I mean, we could even look at some. I'm not too keen on automating customer support actually, but there are definitely solutions out there. If we wanted to automate the entire flow here, we definitely could. And yeah, other than that, everything is automated. We need developers here to release new pages, but other than that, I've built a way to scale that out to release 600 pages based off one template. One other thing that I will mention about customer support actually is like we removed live chat on Notifier, and I was a little bit skeptical about doing it at first, but it's actually been really good. We receive far less support requests. Obviously, I want to support customers as much as possible, but what we've found is, because we're such a small team, everyone's just getting pulled into customer support with really like quite simple issues. And I think it's because a live chat like intercom is just so easy just to click and send in a message and have support deal with all the issues for you, rather than doing like a self-service solution. So for example, like we have all of our documentation and support available, explaining how to sort of do everything, but if you make it too easy for if it's the easier option, people are always going to take the easy option, aren't they? There's natural human psychology, so we can't blame anyone for that. And also with live chat, people expect instant responses, which we just aren't able to provide. We don't have a 24/7 team. But by removing customer support, we've like significantly reduced our support requests. And obviously people can still contact us via email, and it's still just as accessible. But if you are in SaaS, like we're moving over to like a ticket-based system, which works a lot better for us as well. So it might be something that you can explore as well. But yeah, other than that, I'll keep adding to this like automation, and this is just to give an idea of like, I guess, the type of content that you can see me building, because I will document this entire flow. Obviously the current part I have now is the outbound stage, and I also have like parts of this built, but it's not all like connected together and completely automated. I have like automated sharing on Reddit, which I built out, but really just sort of bringing everything together to build like one like monster automation, which is essentially what this is, because we'll be automating, like I said, like 7 or 8 people's jobs through this. So yeah, I'll be documenting everything, and yeah, hopefully you find it interesting and can implement something on your own businesses as well. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, or there's any any questions or anything like you want to add, because there are some clever people watching my videos. Like I said, I've been getting outreach from people who are really very smart, so it's nice to know that I'm attracting a very interesting audience, people working on very interesting projects and things like that. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and if any questions, leave a comment. Have a good evening.